Miss Bliss back here with another topic. Alright, so I got some for y'all. The worst thing you can do is lie to yourself. The worst thing you can do is not be honest with yourself, okay? In this world, before you can be honest with anybody else, before you can even be honest with God, you have to be willing to analyze your own self and be honest with who you are as a person and what your beliefs are and what you think. Okay, be honest with yourself in the way that you're living. Be honest with yourself in your own life. Okay, we be so quick to judge the next individual on what they got going on, or we get mad when others lie to us. But for somebody to be able to lie to you, 9 times out of 10, you lied to yourself first about who that person was when you already knew or had the instinct of how this person would be or treat you. Okay? So, like I said, the worst thing you can do is lie to ourselves. We often fear lies from others, but the deepest betrayal is self-deception. And I just want to talk about, like, why honesty with your own self, with your own soul as an individual is the foundation of living a great life. It's the foundation of healing your heart from any hurt, any betrayal, any pain, any shame. You know, you have to be willing to be honest with yourself and recognize where I'm going wrong at, mentally, where I'm going wrong at, physically, spiritually, financially. You know, you have to be willing to analyze yourself and take a deeper, I can't talk. You have to be willing to analyze yourself and take a deeper look into your life. Okay? Everybody talk about being betrayed by other people, but the deepest betrayal is hurting yourself. When you look in the mirror and pretend that you're not okay, and pretend that about anything. When you look in the mirror and you pretending about anything, you're hurting yourself more than you're hurting anybody else. Okay? It's just like you denying your purpose, your feelings, your truth. The worst thing you can do in this life is lie to yourself, because one thing about it, that lie will have you in bondage. Because when you lie about one thing, you have to keep up that lie, you know, to live up to it. It's something that you have to live up to when you're lying. Not just to people, but when you lie to yourself, you have to keep up with something that's not even you. And this is how a lot of people end up unhappy. This is how a lot of people go through depression. This is how a lot of people, you know, go be down the wrong path, because you decided not to be honest with yourself. And this is why a lot of relationships don't work. Okay? Set the tone. Okay? Stop pretending. Be who you are. Staying in situations, relationships, staying at jobs, staying in anything that's not really who you are in your heart can cost you. Staying in with anything, you know. Don't be like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll change tomorrow, or I'm working on myself. Don't always be in the state of working on yourself. No, put in the work and really change. Put in the work and really accept your own truths. And stop letting the world distract you from who you really are. Stop conforming to what society say is right. Because all the times what society say is right is not your truth. It's a lie that keeps you chasing another lie, that keeps you in a repetitive cycle of illusions, that keeps you in last place, that keeps you tired and exhausted. You have to be willing to be honest with yourself. And once you able to recognize what's truly going on, you could take a step back and begin to make those changes that need to be made in your life. Okay, stop telling yourself that you're not worthy of certain things in life when you know you are. That's a lie. That's a fear-based lie that's keeping you stuck in the same karmic cycles. So you can't fear change. Okay, once you fear change, the truth becomes desolate. The truth don't even exist. When you start fearing change, the truth don't exist. Because the truth is we all have to change at some point. We're all put here to grow and evolve. Okay? Like, I feel like for a long time for myself, I wasn't honest with myself. I lied to myself about a lot. I lied to myself about myself. I lied to myself about my beliefs. I lied to myself about what I wanted. I lied to myself about people and who I knew who people was and what they showed me, but I still tried to overlook it, you know, due to love, due to having a big heart. And I had to get honest with myself and ask myself, what are these people really bringing in my life that's good? What's really going on? So I feel like being honest with who you are, being honest with yourself is the first step to living a great life. Keeping up all them facades and trying to live up to what society say is, you know, the best thing to do, seeking validation from others outside of you, is how you end up living a very miserable and unhappy life. Your soul is, see, all of us are here to do something. All of us, our soul has a purpose to fulfill and live out. And a lot of times when we start feeling depression, anxiety, ADHD, OCD, when we start feeling all these mental things and we start really feeling sick mentally, we start really feeling exhausted to where it's affecting our body and our health and our cells. When the mind is really boggled, it causes confusion and you don't know which path you're supposed to be on. It causes deafness. You can't hear God no more. It causes blindness. You can't see where God is taking you because you living up to something else. You idolizing things that society wants you to idolize. Now you blind to the truth. Now you lying to yourself and everybody around you. So my number one goal this year and for the rest of my years is to always, always, always be honest with myself. You know, always put me and God first. Okay, because God is going to analyze your heart. And a lot of people wonder why they not getting the results that they really want out of life. And I've been there. I'm somewhat still kind of in that space. It's because I was lying to myself about what I truly wanted out of life. I was lying to myself about the people that I had around me. You know, I love these people and they may even love me. But frequency-wise, they can't go. They don't support me. They don't push me to go harder as an individual, as a person. My soul don't feel fulfilled. Where I'm at right now in life, I don't feel like I'm fulfilling my purpose. Yeah, I know to trust the process, and I know that it's going to take some time for me to get there. I have a big vision, a big goal. It ain't going to happen overnight. But the first thing I had to begin to do, and I feel like that's been my whole goal, a lesson of this year, is being honest with myself first. Because one thing about it, God is He's going to analyze your heart, and He know the real you. God knows better than we know our own self. But certain things He not gonna release to us until we find ourselves, until we get to know ourselves. God not gonna put more on you that you can't handle. And that's just the honest to God truth. So be honest with yourself today. Be fucking for real. Be fucking for real. You know? Ask yourself, where in life have I been pretending? What am I afraid will happen if I face the truth? A lot of times we lie to ourselves because we are afraid of change. We are afraid what's on the other side, if we be honest. Okay, what truth, if I admitted it, would set me free? We keep ourselves in bondage. We lie about the men that's in our life. You know that nigga don't really want you for real. You know that nigga ain't gonna really change no time soon. You know that bitch is a liar. You know she lying in your motherfucking face. You know she really only after your money. You know she really only care about herself. But you still love and you still hope that things gonna change. And you still love him and you hope he gonna change tomorrow. And you have to understand that everybody is on their own journey. What may take you to learn in a month, in 3 months, in a year, it may take that person a decade to learn. And we have to stay in alignment. Okay, so ask yourself, how can I honor my truth daily in small ways? Okay, and then next you want to affirm to yourself, I release the lies I've told to myself. I choose truth. My honesty is my power. I trust myself enough to face my truth. And living in truth brings me peace. The worst lie isn't from other people. It's the one we tell ourselves. So be fucking for real. Be for real.